Welcome to Football Discussion Daily. My name is Joe. I'm here with the co-host
TGO.
CGO or George. Today is the 15th of March, 2026, and we are talking about there was four Premier League games today. In the early set of games, Crystal Palace drew Leeds 0-0. There was an incident here, me and George might talk about, where the referee gave a second yellow for a card on a Leeds player that he realized he was giving the player a second yellow, not a first, and he tried to rescind it but it was already out, and so he had to give the player the second yellow. I thought it was kind of funny and just another point towards just referee inconsistency. Manchester United beat Aston Villa 3-1 at home, solidifying their grip on the third spot and kind of pushing Aston Villa back down in the next three with race for the Champions League. Nottingham Forest drew Fulham 0-0, which meant on points before the Liverpool-Tottenham game, Tottenham were on points and relegation, though on goal difference they were in 16th. And then Tottenham got a late winner, 1-1, to get a point against Liverpool. I believe this is their first point since Igor Tudor took charge, since they sacked Thomas Frank, and that puts them back above the relegation places, but very much in a relegation race. George, I think we'll spend the most of our time talking about Man United, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Tottenham. Let's start today with the Leeds incident and refereeing, because I think I explained it correctly, where again, the referee realized he was giving a second yellow, not a first, tried to take it back, was forced to give it. I thought the whole thing was very funny, but also an insight into just referees and how they think. What were your thoughts on this situation? Is this embarrassing for the Premier League?
No, these are the problems we keep talking about the Premier League, where you have lots of inconsistency in decision making. I guess the reason I thought the referee was not, I think he was a bit confused. He wasn't sure if to give a yellow card or not for the second offense by Goodmanson. But the issue is that he has already brought out the yellow card, and then he has no choice because you've already given him a first yellow card. And then the second one, bringing it out, what it means, it has to be a red card. So sometimes some of them, they are too harsh with some of the cards they give, especially the first one. Because I watched the game between Chelsea and Newcastle yesterday. The yellow card given to Caicedo was not a yellow card because he was able to get the ball, but the referee gave him a yellow card. So imagine if he had committed an offense that now requires a yellow card. What it means is that it will result to a red card. So that's the kind of situation we also are today. Cases where they're not supposed to give yellow card, they give it in a reckless manner. And then when it is now time to give the yellow card, when it is worth it, now, because they don't have a choice now, it has to result to a red card. So referees must be very conscious of things like this. I don't know if maybe what you say makes sense.
Players play differently when they're on a yellow. So, even if Casado got the yellow, he played differently afterwards. So, most players know how to manage that risk in terms of their play style in order to minimize that risk of getting a yellow. There's very rarely I see two yellows where both tackles are legitimate plays on the ball that just, they mistimed it, and it's very rare that happens. Almost never does that happen. Most yellows are players know what they're doing and they're being intentionally aggressive, and then they tone it back once they get the first yellow, which is the intent of the yellow, which is great. I've seen a couple dumb yellows where players will walk in front of the wall, like Declan Rice last year, kicking the ball away from a free kick, a lot of dumb yellows, things like that. But very rarely is it two legitimate challenges that were mistimed and bad force, and that very rarely happens. I think the referee was right to that. I think the foul that Goodmanson had was a legitimate first yellow warning. I feel like it typically isn't given as a second yellow. The referee probably shouldn't have given it, but once he pulled out the card, it's just unfortunate for Leeds.
You don't have a choice.
I don't think it's just the referee in the moment made a mistake by pulling out the yellow, and he can't undo that mistake.
You can't undo it anymore.
Yeah. All right, so George, I think we're in agreement there. Let's move on to Manchester United, Aston Villa. I thought Manchester United were by far the better team outside of maybe in between the first two goals. Manchester United went up. They played awful for 5 or 10 minutes. I forget the exact time. And then Aston Villa equalized. And then Manchester United, I think, were on top again the rest of the game. Bruno had some great passes. I thought
Yeah.
as a team they played fantastic. The subs changed the game. George, what are your takes on this game?
I don't know. Bruno Fernandes for me was the man of the match in this game, and he has broken a record as the first Manchester United player to have 16 assists in a single Premier League season. He has broken the record of David Beckham. The record he broke in that was 1999-2000 season. So Fernandes is now the man. Now, what it means is if he's able to score, create, let me say, provide 4 more assists, that means he will equal the record of Thierry Henry and then that of Kevin De Bruyne. So with 8 games for Manchester United to play, I strongly believe he has a chance of doing that because the guy has been very, very good this season. He has been playing very well.
He's been
Now,
exceptional for 5 years, at
yes,
least.
yes, and he's the second fastest Manchester United player to have achieved 200 goals involvement. So that's a good credit. It's a good plus for him. He has been able to achieve that in 314 games. The person that is ahead of him is Wayne. But Bruno Fernandes is really creating good records in Manchester United. And I believe anytime he leaves, he will always be remembered. Now, one thing with this game is Manchester United, the last time they played a Premier League game before this day was on March 4th. And then imagine they played on March 15th. So while others were playing the FA Cup, Manchester United players were resting because they were already out of the FA Cup. They are not playing in Europe, so they had enough rest. So that is a very big advantage for a team that has experienced players like Casemiro, players like Bruno Fernandes. So I knew they will most likely win this game because Aston Villa just played a game against Lille on Thursday, and then they had to play today again. Most of the players
Of
who
course.
featured in that game played today. So Manchester United players were more fresh and more
No,
well-prepared.
I agree, George, because I mean, I felt while Manchester United, I think were probably on top before their goal. It and were clearly bad for 5 minutes in between goals. And it's, their dominance at the last 15 minutes was a lot more than their dominance the first 50 or 60 minutes before that first goal. I think the first goal was Casemiro. I remember all 3 goals. I forget the order. The
Yeah.
Cunha goal was probably the best because that was the pass in from Fernandez. As a soccer player, I cannot stress enough how hard that pass from Fernandez into Cunha is as a skill. He first times it past, he sees the space from Cunha, he times it with Cunha. He gives Cunha plenty of time to run onto the ball, not break a stride, kick a shot into the corner with a decent angle while still putting in space that only Cunha could get it. It was just chef's kiss, just an incredible pass. And I'm not a fan of Bruno Fernandes as a person, but as a game recognized game, I should say. It was and Casemiro's header was also fantastic.
Yes.
That is Emi Martinez may I mean, there's no chance he could have gotten that. That was just right off the post, right in. Aston Villa, I mean, I thought their goal was also good. They whipped it. They switched sides many times and confused Manchester United defense. Eventually, Buendia gets in a good spot and wrong foots Lemon. So I thought had a great game and as the goalkeeper for Manchester United, and which I which thought was just a great goal. So
No, honestly, I really love that pass from Bruno Fernandes to Cunha. That was a very beautiful pass. When it comes to creativity, I don't know if I can. I don't know if there's any other player as good as Bruno Fernandes when it comes to creativity in the Premier League. That guy is so good when it comes to providing good chances for his teammates. And credit must go to him because this game was won because of him, because he made all the whole difference for Manchester United. So I'm happy that they were able to get the 3 points, which puts them on 54 points. So they are 3 points ahead of Aston Villa now. And what it shows is that with the way they are going, they are most likely to make the top 4 because I don't see how anybody can stop them when you consider the fact that they are only playing the Premier League. Other teams competing with them are involved in Europe, and then some are still playing the FA Cup. So definitely Manchester United players will always have more rest than the other teams. So that's a big advantage for them. as the
Yeah,
season comes to an end.
and it looks like Man City too, like might be resigned to second place at this point. They're, I mean, basically 6 points back with 8 games to go, which is they still have to play Arsenal, but they're 9 points back with a game in hand. So we'll see how that goes. There's still a lot of tough. Every week is tough, but yeah, it looks like Manchester United is in a great spot. George, let's finish up by talking about Liverpool versus Tottenham. Liverpool scored a free kick goal from Dominic Szoboszlai that was honestly, I wasn't a dive by McAllister, but this was not a foul. He went down on what I felt was a fair tackle. The ref called it. Dominic Szoboszlai scored a goal, which he hit it well, but I think any keeper in the Premier League other than Vicario saves this. And Liverpool played. They dropped Gakpo on the wing, put him in center forward. They played Rio Ngumoha on the wing, who I thought had an exceptional game. It was actually taking guys on very well, putting it into space. They allowed Tottenham back into the game later, and Tottenham equalized very late in this game. George, do you feel like Liverpool, their changes worked today? Do you feel like this is a mentality thing? What went wrong for Liverpool today?
The issue is that Liverpool, I won't say they had a bad game. They didn't play badly, but the problem with them was they couldn't kill off the game. And when you don't kill off the game, the kind of thing that happened to them in the 90th minute is what will happen to you as a team that fails to kill off the game. You will notice that even the fans were scared because they knew that a one-goal lead is not enough. If you talk about performance, Liverpool didn't play badly today. They played well. Rio Ngumoha was very, very outstanding. I was even surprised they even took him out at some point because he had a very good game. He was a very big threat to Poro. Poro really suffered today in his hands. The way he took on players, the way he was giving passes, that guy is a very good player, and it shows he's somebody with time, can only get better. So I was very disappointed that Liverpool couldn't get the second goal because they had some couple of chances that, if they had utilized, would have killed off the game. But when you're leading by 1-0,
the second half before the Richarlison goal to make it 1-1 was very open. Both teams, I was just shocked that it went almost 45 minutes without the second goal. I think Richarlison's goal was like 90 plus 1 or something. It was 90th minute. I'm just looking right now.
90th minute,
and they, the second half was way wide open. Both teams, like when they broke, it was 4-on-4, both sides. Like there was chances on both ends. Both keepers were plenty busy. It was a very busy second half. There was a lot of missed passes. Like they would make 2 or 3 nice passes, get it in great space. Both teams try and make the final pass and was cut out by a defender. And usually in open games like that, you see more goals than just one in the second half. But I feel like Liverpool didn't play great, but were unlucky not to go up 2-0 in the second half.
Yes. The issue is that we must also give credit to Tottenham. Tottenham looked more organized. In fact, this year, this was their best game because I haven't seen Tottenham play like this since the beginning of the year. And you will notice, because they've not been playing too well, that has really affected them in getting anything good from their games. Today, they look more organized. And if they continue the way they play today in subsequent games, what it means is that they have a very high chance of not getting relegated. Because today I was so impressed with the way they played against Liverpool, because prior to the match, we thought it's going to be a walkover for Liverpool. But I was surprised that Tottenham came out and they were also playing, creating chances, and also trying to get something positive.
I have a question for you. So, George, all 4 teams in that relegation race got a point this weekend, so we're the same place as we started. But I felt mentality-wise, I agree with you, Tottenham were better. There's 2 players that I've criticized, and I think you agree with me, for having a poor mentality on the Tottenham squad. Neither of them played today. That's Romero and Van de Ven.
Exactly.
Do you feel like their absence helped spurred on this squad to this mentality that they had today of, we're not going to do anything for 90 minutes and we're still going to have the mentality to score? Do you feel like that helped them today?
Let me tell you, I was having this discussion with someone today, and I told him, if I am Igor Tudor, I will not use Mikel van der Vet, and I won't use Romero for the rest of the season, because those guys are a very bad influence to the team. The reason why I say so is these are players who don't follow the coach's instruction. When you don't follow the coach's instruction, then at the end of the day, things will fall apart. So if you look at the way Tottenham play today, you will know that players were playing to the structure of the coach. And apart from playing to the structure of the coach, you see the players play with their heart. They were playing for the coach. Because one of the things that will make you as a coach not to succeed is if your players are not following your instruction and they are not ready to play out their art for you. That's where you have a problem as a coach. The team I saw today played their art and they were playing to structure. That was why we saw a well-organized Tottenham today that were fighting to get something positive out of today's game. If not for that, I'm telling you, they wouldn't have gotten anything out of this game.
I would say if you're Lionel Messi, you can do what you want. If you're Mickey Van de Ven, you can't. I feel like Madrid has a couple too many Mickey Van de Vens. Like, sorry, a team can function well if you have one player who is so good they do what they want. And most players who are that good, Harry Kane, Lionel Messi, I'll give two examples, don't. They listen to the coach. They are coach's boys. There are some players who are that good who do what they want. Ronaldo, I think, is an example there. Mbappe is an example there. But Van de Ven is not that good. It's frustrating because he has the talent to be a very good player. Clearly, he's capable of doing everything. And same with Romero. Obviously, Romero's been a very serviceable player in this league for many years. Xavi Simons is another one who's been critical. I thought he actually had a pretty good game today, and he actually played. But there's another example of a player who's been criticized for, you have the talent, you were brought in here for a lot of money, you're not listening to the coach. There's a reason you've been on this is your third top club in 4 years. Or top club, I mean, I use that. This is the reason you've had two big money transfers to bigger clubs in the last 3 years, and you're only 24 years old. But I thought he was great today and was a dose of energy when he came on.
But Joe, if you notice, you see that even Xavi Simon, the coach didn't start him because he has not been playing to instruction. So sometimes you have to bench such players so that they understand that with or without you, the team can play very well. So
I thought his hand was forced and he had to play him because otherwise Kolo Muani is literally the only senior player on the bench. But yeah, Xavi Simons came on and honestly played pretty well.
He did well. I was impressed with the way he played, and I saw some level of high level of seriousness in him when he came into the game, because the players who were already on the pitch were already playing well. So he coming in, I feel he has no choice than to also perform very well if he wants to get the trust of the coach in subsequent games. Okay,
George,
wanted to say something.
2 more points. Number 1, the Tottenham jerseys were butt ugly, the yellow ones. And number 2, I have a man of the match, Danso. Who is your man of the match?
For me, I think Danso should be the man of the match because that guy really did very well at the back. Because Drugasin he made some kind of blunders. He was a bit sloppy the way he played in the game. I think it was the weak link I see in the Tottenham defense today.
Vicario is also a weak link, in my opinion, in the Tottenham defense. But yeah, I thought that Dragusin was probably the second worst for me. Porro did fine. I feel like he didn't get enough help against Ngoma that he should have. I think that's more of a game plan issue, him not getting help, than it is a Porro issue. When a winger is beating a defender one-on-one constantly like that. But yeah, Ngoma did great too. I was going to close out, George. One last thought. You can give your one last thought before I close out.
Do you think with what you saw today, do you still believe Tottenham will be relegated or they will escape relegation?
Well, first off, George, this is the most exciting relegation race we've seen, certainly in the last 2 years. Boring. We have 4 teams within a point. I think Leeds might be 2 or 3 points up, but 4 teams, very tight. I think it's super exciting. 3 weeks ago I said Nottingham Forest. Last week I said Tottenham. I think results and form will change my opinion again, but as of right now, I would still say Tottenham's going down. I think not as organized as you say Tottenham were today. Nottingham Forest, from what I saw, were also organized. They should have won today. West Ham obviously played a much, in my opinion, a much harder team yesterday in Man City than Liverpool, and probably it got a point. So we'll see, George. I think it'll be really exciting. Tottenham, Nottingham Forest next week, I think.
I just have one more question for you before we finish. We round up. Now, do you think Igor Tudor will have the courage to bench Mickey van der Vet and Romero, Christian Romero?
Honestly, Van de Ven, yes. Romero, no. I feel like from what I've seen Romero play in a system where he, will listen to the coach and will do stuff and will talk and will be a captain and will support those young players. I feel like he's a guy you can have a conversation with. And from what I've seen of Van de Ven, he is not. He kind of has always done his own thing. So I think he will bench Van de Ven. I think he will not bench Romero. But we'll see, George. All right. So final questions. Number one, do you think Igor Tudor will, or do you think he should bench Van de Ven and Romero? What went wrong for Liverpool today? Was it structural or was it individual errors? Was it a mentality thing? Number three, does Manchester United guaranteed? Does this mean Manchester United is basically already in the Champions League, and Aston Villa is back down in the race with Chelsea and Liverpool? For three of those teams will make 2 Champions League spots. And final question was, the Leeds situation. Let us know your thoughts. Did the ref do the right thing? Is there a way that we can remediate that going forward? I think that George and I are in agreement. I think most football fans would be that, the situation, it kind of stinks, but is there a way that with VAR and review that we can make sure that those are minimized? Let us know your thoughts. Appreciate you listening.